He has no idea. Could be here all night. Not today, planter.
And this butthole that lives over here stopped over here screaming and yelling, waving his hands at Zach. I just checked the weather forecast on my phone. For the next 14 days, there is 0% chance of rain in the forecast. I'm definitely not in full-blown panic mode yet, but I will say that my level of concern is rising just a little.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to race the combine.
Hey, can you run back to the shop real quick and grab grab about 3 cans of Freon in my gauges? My AC's kind of going in and out, and it's starting to get uncomfortably warm in here. Now I gotta find where the charging ports on this AC are. I've never had to charge this combine before. I'm assuming they're gonna be up there by the compressor, but sometimes on this newer equipment they like to hide them pretty good. I'm gonna do something though. It's continuing to get hotter and hotter, and my AC just ain't keeping up. I can feel it kicking on from time to time, and it feels okay in here, but then then the compressor kicks off, and usually that's because of low freon. So I got my condenser and everything blowed out real good, and that didn't really make any difference. And it's supposed to be the hottest day yet today. So I've cut wheat before without any AC. I just assume not do it again unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, that's right. Modern farmers a lot softer than the old timers was. I will readily admit to that. All right, Carter, is your buggy completely empty and zeroed out?
Yeah.
Because what I got on the combine plus the rest of this little bit of this field, that's going to be the rest of this farm. So you need to make sure you know the total weight that's on the grain buggy before we cross the ditch and go over to the next farm number. Just make sure you don't screw it up, because that depends on how much these landlords get paid. Yeah, you the technician they sent out.
You want to call me that?
All right, let's see if we can find the AC port. There's the pressure. There's like the high side, there's the low side. Oh, that's the tension. There's the low side. Oh, there's the high side back below that. All right, go ahead and cut the engine off and let me get it hooked up, and you'll crank it up and turn the AC wide open. Warm up in here. I should have done this first thing this morning before this engine got hot. All right, go ahead and crank it up. Wide open? Yeah, AC wide open. Well, 4 cans later, I really couldn't get my pressure to rise that much. Zach says there's a noticeable difference in the cab though, so I know it's a big system, but yeah, I thought 4 cans have been plenty. I don't know, I might have a stopped up dryer or an orifice or expansion valve somewhere might need to turn our attention to this summer. All right, if I got any AC gurus out there watching our channel, I need a little technical assistance. We put 4 cans of Freon in here, and it helped a little bit, but definitely not what I would expect 4 cans to do. I'll have to check the specs on the system to see what the Freon capacity actually is. I mean, I know it's a big system because, you know, it goes all the way from where the compressor and the condenser is, all the way at the rear of the combine. You know, lines go all the way up here, so I know it's got a pretty big capacity, but still 4 cans should have been more than enough. But anyway, outside air temperature probably about 95 degrees. I got the high side, when I put those 4 cans, I got it to raise up from 150 psi up to about 165 psi, and I would expect it more than that. But anyway, I mean, it's still cooling some, but I can feel it, you know, periodically get warm, like the compressor's kicking off or whatever, although I can't verify if that's exactly what it is. And it's got an automatic climate control, and I've got it set down as cold as I possibly can. So what kind of problems do you think that I could have with this AEC system? Just need to add some more Freon, or possibly have an orifice or the expansion valve stopped up, or what? We were getting about 20 psi on the low side also, and the line on the low side going to the compressor, I mean, you can feel it get pretty cool, but it would not get cold, and it would get cool enough to start sweating just a little bit, but you know, not dripping with water like what it should with our conditions here. I know just enough about AC systems to do basic diagnostic and usually get myself in trouble, and I don't want to replace a bunch of parts willy-nilly just hoping that that's the problem. And heck, depending on who you ask, I mean, you're going to get different answers on what pressure should be on an AC system. So any advice you could give me is leave in the comments below, and I'd appreciate it. We'll try and get it checked out after wheat harvest. We'll make it through wheat harvest. I'm not going to bother trying to fix it or do any diagnostics while we got this wheat crop out here. We'll get the combine in the shop later on this summer and probably work on it then.
But I think the best part about planting is that you put this seed in the ground and you work so hard to do it, and then it comes up and you come back in a few days later or a few weeks later and you see a whole field of green. There's just something about that is so neat to me. I mean, I grew up in the city, so I guess farm kids look at it like, oh yeah, whatever, it's a field. But to me, it's like, wow, you know, God took one little seed. You know, he made this one little seed, and out of that one seed, there's a huge stalk with 100 more seeds. Like, that is so freaking cool to me. That is so neat. It just shows you that there's a bigger plan out there that, you know, a lot of people don't see, but I see it just because I'm a visual person and I'm not a numbers kind of person. You know, people like to look at numbers on a piece of paper and go, oh, that's amazing. Me, I have to physically see it. And to see all your hard work and then see it come up, and then, you know, I'll ask Matt, like, hey, what are the beans doing, the double crop beans, the ones that I planted? Because you take pride in that, and I think it's pretty cool. And this year will be my 10th year working full-time on the farm. I went to work full-time on the farm in 2012. Before that, I worked 18 years in the restaurant and hospitality industry, basically restaurants and bars and hotels. And you know, I never thought in a million years I would be doing this. My best friend and I, we had this plan that we were about 20, 21. We're like, you know what? I'm going to open a restaurant. She's going to open the bar. We're going to have this amazing, cool place. It's going to be on the coast somewhere, either in Florida or Texas, California, wherever. We had huge dreams. Look where I ended up. But it's funny how God has a different plan for you. And I never thought in a million years that I'd end up in Tennessee. I would be working on a farm, married to a farmer. Oh! Hi, I found that one! Oh my God. Oh. The days that I really question my career choice are these type of days. And then the days that Matt and I fight all the time because, you know, we live with each other, we work with each other, and that's really, really hard on your marriage, on your working relationship. And he's an introvert and I'm an extrovert. So, you know, he's also a numbers guy. I'm a visual person. I see the beauty in everything and I have to see it. But God chooses people to do this career, to do this lifestyle, and every day you question it, and then you come out here and see your hard work, or there's a beautiful sunset out in the field and you're out there and you're like, I hate my job, I can't do this anymore, and then God shows you, yeah, you can. So I just wish the people that I grew up with, the people that I went to school with, saw what I saw. I also wish my city friends would stop going to Google and Uncle CNN for their questions about farming and actually ask us. And look at the social media world. Farmers have gone to YouTube, they've gone to Instagram, they've gone to TikTok to educate people in what is correct, not what people believe that they see on a TV commercial ad or just from people who've never stepped foot on a farm. And I did believe some of the things when I moved down here, and then I started talking to people, and then I married into it, and I saw it for what it was. Farmers are just out here trying to feed the world and clothe the world and do the best job that they possibly can. We're not trying to poison them with a word that rhymes with found up. I posted this reel on Instagram that went stupid viral and crazy all because of that trigger word. All because I used the word that rhymes with found up. It went crazy and people were just, you're poisoning us. You're the reason why we have cancer. What? And yet I would go look at their profiles and they're there with a cigarette in their hand or they're drinking. You know, and it's because of those TV ads about, you know, that word and another word. Well, if you've ever been exposed, you can, you know, get compensation. It's not true. So that's why a lot of farmers are on YouTube and they're on platforms to give everyone the absolute 90% educational truth. Because some people won't accept the 10%. That's just the truth, so. And I wish people would understand, like I grew up in a suburb of a city. The only farming I knew was when we drove to southern Illinois and we got to see combines in the field in the fall. That's it. I knew nothing else. So I have been self-taught, self-educating myself since I married Matt in 2006. And I wish a lot of more people would ask farmers. Now I've got friends up north that ask me all the time, well, why do you use this? Why do you use that? And it's about educating our friends who are uneducated about what we do. I would not judge them what they do for a living. I'd ask them a question, well, why do you do it that way? And I think our country has gone to just self, me, I'm right, you're wrong all the time. It's like a bunch of 5-year-olds. So that's my rant for the day. I am now done with this horrific field and I am going to go over to where the boys are at.
Hello?
I need you to come over here, please.
What's wrong?
Apparently something broke off and it all got caught up in it. All I was doing was just backing up.
I'll be there in a minute, Kelly.
Alright.
Oh, freaking fantastic. Alright, I gotta run over here to the planter store up. Is the valve stem on the tire on the inside or outside? We can let the air out of the tire and that'll get it flying. Somehow all of our cords and hydraulic line and everything got, the tire grabbed it and wrapped it around and stretched it and broke it. Of course, you can see that hydraulic line stretched taut as a banjo, so we're letting the air out of the tire where it's wrapped around, just try and give us a little bit of slack so this thing doesn't snap whenever we try to back it up, because it's a very dangerous situation right now. If that hydraulic line snaps, it's going to act like a whip and it kill somebody.
It's going to go somewhere very fast.
Faster than I can move anyway. finally got the hose unwrapped around the tire there. We got our harness that we need to control the folding and unfolding functions. We got it spliced back together, so we should be able to get it back to the shop now. We got 2 hydraulic hoses we got to replace. One wiring harness we got to replace, and then this one I just field spliced together. We got to splice it correctly back at the shop. That's where we're headed up to that gets the tire aired up. Alright, I got this wiring harness repaired. I haven't electrical taped it up, but man, I love these heat shrink butt connectors that I get from Kimball. They got a little bit of lube there in the middle, and when you heat it up, it kind of squeezes out and really keeps that fitting from corroding. Plus the heat shrink over the end really makes for a really good permanent connection. I'll get all that taped back up. I also took the chance to remove all this excess wire from the wiring harness. Nothing I hate more than having a bunch of excess hose or wire up here around the hitch. So heck, that's probably 8-9 feet excess wire we got rid of. We don't need any more. Makes for a neater connection. And Zach and Carter got the 2 hoses pulled from the tongue, and Zach's gone to Motor Parts there in Humboldt to get one new one made, and then we're going to put a splice in the other one, because that's all it needs. And then Kelly's gone to Union City to get the new precision planting wiring harness extension that goes from up there all the way up here to the middle of the planter. She should be back hopefully in about an hour, and we'll get this sucker buttoned up. Alright, we got everything put back together, I believe. I'm gonna pull it out here and test it out. Make sure nothing's going to stretch too tight and everything's going to talk to each other. That's right, I'm on the planter. No, Kelly did not get demoted. I'm just on here running everything, making sure everything is right like it should be, because we hooked everything up and powered it up. Everything was in the red, and found out we had a couple fuses blown, and then it took forever to get the modules reset. So I'm just going to run it a few rounds and make sure everything is ship shape on it and it's planting the way it's supposed to plant. Zach, Kelly, and Carter, they actually had to leave this farm that we're on because I'm scheduled to cut our wheat test plots tomorrow morning at 10. So they moved the combine and buggy over to the next farm we're going to, and they're cutting out around the plots and everything. So when we get to cutting first thing tomorrow morning, we can start on those plots and get them wrapped up. A lot easier to move half a mile down the road and do that, and then come back to this farm, rather than trying to get both the University of Tennessee and Pioneer scheduled again for a different day. Anyway, everything's looking good. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I found out right here, you see this blue, a setting had gotten changed on Kelly. I guess you didn't realize it. And anyway, got that corrected. Anyway, I'm just going to plant a few rounds, and then I'll fill the planter up with seed. It's just about out, get it ready for Kelly tomorrow, and she'll be back on here tomorrow. I'll be back on the combine, and hopefully we'll have just a little bit better day tomorrow than we did today. I think we got a whopping like 15 acres cut. So, you know, spent literally all afternoon there in the shop. We're all wiped out. Boy, it's hot. I feel like I'm sunburned, even though I spent a lot of the day, you know, inside the shop away from the sun. But we're all ruined. We're all ready to go home, take a shower, and probably have a cold beer or two. Heck, I might even have a couple of shower beers. I don't know. But anyway, y'all stay tuned. We'll be back out here in the morning because there ain't no rain in sight. We're going to continue to get this wheat out. Hey, just got done cutting our wheat plots. University of Tennessee and Pioneer. Reckon we're going to finish up this 56-acre farm, then move back to the one where we were at yesterday, get it, and then head on down the road a while. So that nice big field, should be some good running. I'll be able to make pretty quick work of this farm.
Yeah, yesterday sucked a whole lot because the planter broke. I was really emotional about it because I take pride in being very careful, not breaking anything, all that stuff. But it happens, right? But the reason I was so upset about it was because I'm gonna show you what happened in the morning. So yeah, I broke my foot being a klutz because that's the story of my life. This isn't the first time it's happened. So yeah, I'm in a boot for a couple days, probably, maybe a week or so. Yeah. So yesterday was not a good day for me. At all. So, but today's a better day. And we're gonna try and get this farm done, move back to the farm that we started on the other day. And then maybe tomorrow we'll move again. I don't know. I don't know what day it is anymore. I wake up and every day it's Groundhog Day. So yeah, pretty much going on over here. Hopefully nothing else happens. So I'm gonna ask Zach to take me to go get vehicles that are at the other farm because Matt is doing GoPro shots for you people. And it's taking forever. So I'm gonna run home really quick because it's literally like 3 miles that way.
Alright, I think I may have figured out what my problem with wheat this year. It's been nitrogen or lack of nitrogen. I don't really know why, because I follow the same nitrogen program that I've used for years and been very successful with. We variable rated our nitrogen based upon the aerial imagery. But this farm right here is yielding fantastic according to my yield monitor. I mean, I'm seeing 110 to 120 bushels an acre all the way down through the field. The only difference between this farm and previous farms is that this part of this farm was planted behind soybeans last year, whereas the rest of my wheat was planted behind cotton. Well, you know, when you think about plants, soybean is a legume. It produces its own nitrogen. Its residue is high in nitrogen. So it can release quite a bit of nitrogen to the following crop, whether it be wheat, corn, or whatever, whereas cotton does not have a lot of nitrogen content in its residue, and its residue takes a long time to break down and really doesn't provide much nitrogen to the following crop. So nitrogen has been my So nitrogen has been the reason my yields have maybe not been quite as good as what I expected.